Okay, I'm going to go through those steps again. 4 pictures, they have to overlap. Make sure your 4 pictures are all overlapping. On your top layer, you're going to apply the layer mask. So top layer, click on the layer mask. Make sure you're on the mask, because if you're on the picture, notice the difference. If I'm on the picture, then you will just be covering up the picture. It won't work. It's just going to go like that, okay, if you're on the picture. So you've got to make sure you're on the layer mask. Then you're going to do your gradient. Again, you got to make sure it's black to white, it's linear, and your mode is set to darken. Then you drag outside of the picture till about like right there, okay? Because you're just trying to cover up the edges, to blend the edges. And since you set your mode to darken, you can do more than one gradient. Once you have that one blended, you go on to the next layer, which is this one for me. Add the mask, and you do the same thing. Okay. And you keep going to here. And then in the end, you can look over here. You only need 3 layer masks, because your bottom layer, you don't want to blend that. You don't really need to blend that, because you could if you wanted to, I guess. Once you get your layers all blended together, you can then apply the filters to your layer mask. Yeah, again, you've got to make sure you're on the filter, not the actual layer. I'm sorry, you're on the layer mask, not the actual layer. So I'm on this one down there. You just filter, and you can choose any of the filters. I'm going to just go through the pixelate ones. So that color halftone we did earlier, you can do that, and it does the dots. Again, make sure you're on the layer mask. So in the end, you'll have 4 layer masks, all of them with your filters applied to the layer mask. And what's nice about this is you can go back, like I see on mine right here, it's not blended very well. I can always go back to my layer mask and apply another gradient, and the filter that I applied to that layer mask will still, I don't have to refilter it. The last thing we're going to do is write the text on the picture. So we're going to label them winter, spring, fall, and summer. We're going to use the opacity, or not the opacity. We're not going to use the opacity. We're going to use the fill and take it down to 0 so that the effect just shows. So let's start with winter. Okay, so it doesn't matter. It does not matter what color you use, because we're going to take the fill all the way out. And this is what you did on that kaleidoscope project, or some of you did. Here's my type layer that says winter. I'm going to take the fill all the way down to 0. But now I'm going to apply an effect. Okay, so like bevel and emboss. And you see this actually a lot with photographers, whether they want to put a watermark on their photograph so that no one takes it off the internet, or even in their framed artwork, they will have a caption of where the picture was taken. So go ahead and label all of your seasons. And you can use a different font for each season if you want. You don't have to use the same one. And then each one, you're just going to take the fill all the way down to 0 and then apply a different effect to it. Now another thing you can do with your text, what we did last class, is you can use your blend modes. Okay, so now when you do the blend, it does matter what color your text is. Do not use white or black on your text. So if I'm going to do a blend mode with summer here, I want to change that color, and then the shortcut to go through my different blend modes, I want to put this summer right on top of my summer layer. Shift plus, Shift minus, if you have your move tool selected. And you can still apply an effect around it so that it stands out more. So I'm going to do the same thing with, oh, I got my summer mixed up. Oh, well. And if you notice, your text is underneath, just look at your layers, okay, move it on top. I'll use it. And again, Shift plus and Shift minus, that's what's taking you through these different types of blend modes. So lots of different effects that you can do. With using blend modes and also taking the fill down to 0 and then applying a layer effect.